What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Rise and Ride podcast. Today, I am stoked to have our next guest on the Rise and Ride podcast. He's our first DH World Cup racer on the pod, and he's coming all the way from New Zealand to the studio. They call him the Bulldog. That's right. We have Brook Macdonald in the studio today. Super fired up. Let's go. What up?
How are we?
Good. Let's get this mic closer to you. What brings you to Venice? What's up?
No, just here for a couple of weeks for holiday. My cousins come over, so just come over to hang out. I like coming here and chilling. It's quite a nice place. So yeah, easy trip for me as well. It's kind of on the way home.
Yeah, Venice is a crazy place. I've been here for like a year and a half now, and it still trips me out like what this place has to offer. Okay, I have to ask, why do they call you Bulldog? What's up with that? Let's get the mic closer to you.
Yeah, I guess the name Bulldog originated from when Masters, way back in the early day. I think probably just from, my aggressive riding style, being able to just take massive crashes and get back up from them like nothing happened. And I think probably I was built a little bit like a bulldog back then.
I think
probably slimmed out a little bit now.
You are built like a bulldog, and it's funny because my mom actually breeds bulldogs, and I was like thinking, I'm like, Brook Macdonald actually is built like a bulldog. You're fucking stocky, man. You're in good shape.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I used to be way stockier. Probably I just leaned out a little bit over the years. But yeah, that's where the name originated from.
And when you're saying you're leaning out, is that something you're trying to do? Like, is it something like you're doing it with part of like whole like the DH World Cup circuit, like the training? Like, are you trying to slim down? And the reason I ask that is because look at Jackson Goldstein. That kid is like weighs maybe 120 pounds, and the fact that he just won the last like World Cup race, I'm like, damn. Like, I never thought that body type could like win that type of race.
Yeah.
Like, right? I don't know. I'm like tripped out about it.
I guess it goes both ways for someone like himself, because he's able to maintain speed over the course of a track like Mount St. Anne. Because like for me, Mount St. Anne is kind of a track built for someone like myself with like aggressive riding style that just loves going flat out, sort of the same as Manar. But I think with these younger kids coming along, just coming from a background of BMX, riding in bike parks, just like probably learning the fundamentals of actually how to carry speed on a bike. Whereas like for myself, I never really grew up racing BMX or riding bike parks. It was just like riding in the forest. So I guess like it kind of came naturally, being able to figure out that, but not having the bike park like those guys have. So, I guess back to like leaning out as well. Like I guess just from training, I never really used to train back in the day because it wasn't really a thing to do. And then, I brought on a coach, and actually had to go to the gym and ride my road bike, and that's where I kind of lost a lot of weight and leaned out.
I mean, I feel like you kind of have to be on a crazy training schedule if you want to be a top 10 DH World Cup racer, right? Like all the top dudes have their own personal like trainers, right?
Yeah. I think majority of everyone that's probably I'd say probably in the top 30 have personal trainers, because our sport is so elite now that like you really can't hold back from, I guess, doing everything and anything to get you to where you want to be, to get you to the top.
Right. And you've seen it changed, I'm sure, quite a bit of times. Like you've been in the game for a while. When did you start racing?
I started racing in 2008. Like that was my first year coming over to Europe. So I've kind of just seen the different phases of like the evolution of bikes, racing, track changes, just so much depth of talent come through. Because I feel like for a number of years there was good juniors coming through. There was like Vergier, Bruni, like two outstanding.
Connor, right? Farron?
Connor Fearon too, yeah, yep.
He was a little ripper.
Yeah, he was for sure.
Teammates on Kona Clump.
Yeah, he was on Kona for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time. But yeah, just the depth of juniors that are coming through now are just outstanding. Like like Jackson Goldstone and Jordan Williams, like first year elite, win their first ever World Cup, like, and then Jackson goes and wins Mount St. Anne. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's wild. It's wild to see. And it's crazy to see Jackson doing it because we all watched this little kid grow up.
Yeah.
With his family. That little shred edit he did in kindergarten with that little push bike was so rad. And look where he is today.
Yeah. 100%. He's grown up around bikes. So like
he's got the perfect family.
Yeah, I don't expect anything less for where he's at now, whether he went like to the free ride side of things or to downhill. I think
he's got all the support in the world.
Yeah,
to do whatever he wants.
He's got endless opportunities. Cool. Yeah. So
a kid like Jackson is good for the sport.
Yeah, definitely. No, I totally agree, and I think like, he just he just brings that new blood into our sport, which is pretty awesome.
So cool. And I can see him kind of like dabbling into the free ride side of things in the future as well. So it'd be rad to see him like dominating the World Cup circuit and then a Rampage title. That'd be pretty badass.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, I could too. I mean, like, he's probably just going to win a World Cup overall, World Champs title, and then, maybe he wants to go and, dabble in the free ride side of things.
Has anyone done that? G.
Probably
almost.
G.
He took a big crash today.
Yeah, that was massive.
I saw that just now. I'm like, damn. Seems like he's all right, though.
Yeah, that guy is...
he's a savage.
He's like a cat with 9 lives.
That whole family's a savage.
Yeah.
I think G... G might be the only one that...
I think he's podium... Has he podiumed at Rampage?
He has, yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably really the only one that's... Well, him and Brendan really are the only guys that are kind of gone across to that free ride side of things. Well, more so Rampage. But I guess that's like the pinnacle of free ride, right?
Did that ever interest you? Like dabbling into like Rampage?
Yeah, I was actually really keen. Really keen to do some Rampage. Probably more so like before my accident. Now, like, I'm just watching like the videos and stuff, and it's gnarly. Like, they're just like pushing.
Yeah.
They just keep on pushing. Like, until, I don't know when do you stop?
It's so wild. I'm driving out there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I just saw Zinc do that big gap that he wanted to do last year. I saw G's crash. I saw a couple double flips out there. I'm like, damn, it's already getting rowdy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess probably it's changed a lot from when you last did Rampage, right? Yeah. Like now single crowns.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I had Reader on the podcast and we were talking about single crown forks, and I asked him, I'm like, do you ever think a dual crown fork wins Rampage ever again? And he basically said he doesn't ever see that ever happening again.
No.
And then seeing the field this year, there's so many people out there on single crown forks.
Yeah, there's heaps, eh? There's not many people that have got triple crowns on, right?
I mean, all the old school guys.
Yeah.
Zinc, Straight, Carson, I'm going to throw your name in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the funny thing is, I mean, those guys could win as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that's the exciting thing about Rampage. So, you just got back from Mount St. Anne, right?
Yeah.
How is it going back to Mount St. Anne?
I guess for me, it's like I really just approached it as another bike race. Like, I was probably pretty lucky that there was those 2 years in between when I had my accident there and when I went back to race because of COVID. So, like, I think it probably would have been a different story if I went there the following year. but I had those 2 years where I could, you know, I don't know, I just felt like I was just a normal person again and going to another bike race. I guess like definitely kind of brings back memories. I actually went and visited my surgeon the other week when I was there, and like being in the hospital was crazy because like I spent 2.5 weeks there, and like to me, like obviously a hospital is not a place that you want to be at, but for myself I felt like it was kind of like my happy place because it was a place where I started like my rehab and I started to walk again, so it was like a place that felt comfortable for me to be in. So yeah, that was really cool. That was really awesome just to, you know, meet the surgeon and like my physios and stuff like that. But yeah, I do get asked that question a lot, and like I just approach it as another bike race.
Interesting. Yeah. I get that asked all the time as well. It's like, how does it feel to go back to Rampage? Even though I'm not competing, it's still a little weird walking on that soil for sure. You know, I'm not gonna lie, every time I'm driving up to the Rampage site, I zone to the right and I see that cliff. I see the fucking cliff that takes me out every time, and it's just it's always, I know it's always gonna be there, but my ass always catches me like staring at it.
Yeah.
But it's for a quick second, and then my brain just like goes somewhere else. You know, I've definitely, it's 8 years. It's gonna be 8 years next week. But all good, man. I've learned a lot. It's been a crazy journey.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a little bit of a taste of the spinal cord injury world, huh?
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
What, 4 years ago?
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that day when you hit the ground and you couldn't move your feet. What were you thinking?
I guess like I knew instantly something was wrong because I was like, I hit the floor so hard that it like put me off the side of the track, and I was laying on my side and I could just feel like real sharp pains in my back, and I went to roll over, and that was like the first instinct where I thought something's not right here because I couldn't feel my legs, so I was like trying to roll over and nothing was happening, and yeah, I was just like, this is not good. I guess I probably really didn't have time to process what had happened because I really knew that how bad the situation was, and all I wanted to do was get to the hospital to get examined and actually know what was going on. But I laid on the hill for 5 hours waiting for a heli to get off there. So yeah, I guess in that probably, yeah, even in that time, like I didn't have time to process because I was in so much pain, and like the pain relief they were giving me was just like a real low dosage of like a Panadol for like a headache, because in Canada they're not allowed to prescribe, I think they're not allowed to prescribe heavy drugs on the side of a hill, or like a doctor there, the doctors there, they have some rule anyway. So like, yeah, it wasn't till I actually got to the hospital where I actually got some pain relief. So it was, yeah, just 5 hours of hell, like just in so much pain. And then, yeah, I guess like, yeah, I don't know. I really didn't have much time to process it because everything just went so fast, and it was like, by the time I got checked and then, you know, couldn't do surgery because it was too late. So it was like I went to sleep. Well, I didn't really sleep, but like just there waiting to have that surgery to obviously fix everything.
That's a scary feeling, huh?
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, just like, yeah, not having any feeling. Like, it's crazy. Like, we can only relate to each other because we know how it feels, but it's so hard to explain it.
That's why I'm fired up here on the podcast, because we never chatted about this whole injury. Like, anytime there's a back injury in action sports, I feel like I get a phone call, and that's how we became friends because of what happened with you. and but we never chatted about it. It was like, hey, like how long did it take for you to like walk or this, or like where did you do your PT? We never like chatted like, I mean, all the complications that actually like goes into this fucking
Yeah.
injury, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your recovery is insane, right? And that's like what's so scary about this injury is like every injury is like a snowflake. It's not the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, exactly.
You broke your T12, right?
Yeah.
And L1.
T12 and L1, yeah.
And you sustained a little bit of paralysis and had paralysis, and you had to relearn how to walk, ride a bike. Like you had to relearn all the mechanics to live a normal life again.
Yeah.
But you got it back.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah, I was so lucky. Like, literally after surgery, I had like instant feeling back on the top of my quads. So like the sensation there was normal, but everywhere else wasn't normal. And I had, like the burning on the back of the thighs and the glutes, and just like weird sensations in the legs, and that was horrible. It's so uncomfortable. Like it's the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm very, very lucky that I was able to, regain not all my feeling, but a majority of it. Like I still have some not complications, but just like some on the bottom of my legs and feet, like just the, it comes and goes where it's like I feel it and then other days I don't.
How was it like those first like 6 months? Just like where we're like mentally like, okay, this is like, is this my new life? Like, is this how long is this going to take to get to the next step to walking or even walking with a walker? Because as you know, those doctors do not give you a direct answer to recovery in a spinal cord injury. So you're kind of on this journey alone. So like, how did you handle that the first few months of this injury?
Well, I had like set a goal in my head like pretty early on in my recovery, like probably like a week into this whole process, that I was going to race my bike the following year, because I didn't know how bad this was going to be. Like I just thought in my head that I'm going to recover and be back to doing normal things again. But I feel like I was very lucky that I was in good shape, like just coming off the back end of my racing season. So like I was sort of at the peak of my performance. And then, yeah, I guess those 6 months, like the 6 months was a blur, but it wasn't. Like everything just sort of happened so quickly. And like I was told that there was probably going to be a plateau in my recovery where like you don't gain much.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like I never really had that. Like obviously, I got to a certain point where I felt like my strength I didn't get any stronger, but I just felt like every week I was progressing in like just small steps, which was like leading to giving me confidence in the goal that I wanted to achieve. So yeah, like the 2 weeks that I spent in Canada was like sort of quite tough because we were trying to get flights home and like insurances and like.
And when you were up there, did you have your family with you?
Yeah, I had my parents, my mum and stepdad, and my my ex-girlfriend, and she was a nurse, so like that was very comforting for me because I had like, I didn't really know too much about this injury, and she obviously had a fair idea and could explain everything to me, and made it sound a lot better than what the doctors would make it sound. So that was a lot easier. But yeah,
to have that support
yeah,
is huge in this injury,
yeah, it's
especially
massive.
in the beginning stages.
Yeah, it's like I think it's the most key thing that you need in a situation like this, because I feel like if you didn't have that, you'd be just going down a road of the unknown.
It'd be a dark road.
Yeah.
It's a lonely road.
Yeah.
Especially in this situation.
And I guess you've probably been down that road as well.
Oh yeah. So, out of all these complications that go into a spinal cord injury, what would you say was the most challenging that you had to deal with?
Probably learning to walk again. Like that was mentally tough, because like, you know, I'd walked for 28 years of my life and not had to think about how to walk, you know. It's just something that comes naturally, and then having that taken away from you and having to relearn to do that again was such a big challenge. Like in my mind, like I could feel myself and tell myself that I can walk, but I actually physically couldn't do it. And like that was the hard thing. And I also, my right side was more damaged than my left, so I had I had drop foot, so that was really difficult to process as well, because it was like, how do I actually lift my foot up?
Yeah.
And
I still have it on the right.
Yeah.
I wear an AFO brace.
Yeah, that's horrible. It's not a nice thing to have.
All right, so learning how to walk after a spinal cord injury. Okay, so relearning how to walk after a spinal cord injury was one of the most challenging things that you had to go through. Let's say some other things that go into this injury. You didn't have any control of your bladder or your bowels.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Insane. Like that was another thing that I didn't know.
Same.
I was like, I woke up with a catheter in there, like wondering kind of why I had to have that. And like I was again, I was very lucky that I had that taken out, and it was like a 50-50 chance. Like they took it out to see if I could actually go to the toilet on my own. And like I remember vividly that day of walking to the toilet and taking a piss on my own. Like that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That was a big relief for me, because obviously still early in the day, in the time I didn't realize like the effects it actually has on you, like, you know, obviously for everything.
I would say that was the most challenging for me.
Yeah.
With the spinal cord injury, because I had no idea as well.
Yeah.
The day they took that catheter back out of my situation, I'm like, cool, I can finally pee on my own again. Little did I know that was a whole new journey of like struggles, like putting a catheter stick in your pee hole, learning how to pee again. That right there, I was like, this is the gnarliest injury.
Yeah.
Like all the complications that go behind closed doors that people have no idea about, those are the ones that like I feel like we need to talk about, because I was so clueless with that.
Yeah, I was too. And I guess like probably actually taking a poo was hard too. Like, you know, that's also another big area that it affects. And it's like, you know, I wanted to go to the toilet, I'd sit on the toilet and I couldn't go to the toilet. And it's like, just like you just have no control of what is happening.
It's a gnarly situation. So we just list off a few things that goes into this fucking injury, right? Relearning how to walk, no control of your bladder, your bowels, drop foot, the nerve pain.
I guess like also temperature too. Like I didn't realize that has a massive effect on your temperature. And like, you know, I'm a guy who likes, you know, sweats pretty easy, but I also like from my injury, it has affected me a lot more. Like I get hotter way easier, and then I also get colder a lot easier too.
It's a gnarly injury, and there's a lot of complications that go behind it, as you know. So you made a full recovery. I guess what I'm about to say is like, why do it again? Like, why try to race at an elite level after what you just went through? Is it worth it? You stress me out, dude. And because here's the difference. It's like, you could say that to me as well, right? I ride at my level.
Yeah.
Every time you see a clip of me on the e-bike and it's like a big jump, that's like I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, that's like my limits. You are competing with the best of the best. You can't chill.
Nah, no, I guess I just have that athlete mentality. Like, you know, I had that goal set in my head that I wanted to race bikes again. Like, I didn't know how achievable that was going to be, but in my own head, I knew that I was going to be able to achieve that. I don't think there was probably many people out there that thought it was possible, but in my own head, I thought it was possible. And I guess just like, I think because it's been a huge part of my life that, you know, probably not racing again was something that, you know, I wouldn't have been satisfied with. Like, I wanted to actually come back and race my bike.
You don't want to take the easy route to go and shoot some content up in the mountains, go get an e-bike deal, like go chill, or no?
Nah, because I
wanted to go back to the battlefield.
Yeah, I still felt like I had my goals to achieve, like whether they're achievable or not. I still felt like I had to go out there and try and achieve my goals, not for anyone else, but for myself. Yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. It was just something that, I guess probably something that never crossed my mind of like, okay, having to think about this and be like, okay, maybe I should stop racing. Maybe I should just, go and shoot some content, go and do whatever. But I just wanted to go race my bike again.
I asked that question to Kyle too, straight.
Yeah.
Because he had a little taste of it as well.
Yeah.
And because, you know why I ask these questions is because I want to know, because if I ever got 100%, would I ever do Rampage again? I don't know. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I'm very happy where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't live a very stressful life anymore. Like, competing stresses me out.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 18 years, dude.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking time
Yeah,
to be
it's a
competing.
long time.
And to not be in that space, I'm like a way happier person, and I'm way less stressful.
Yeah.
If I ever did get 100%, no, I would never do Rampage again. But say if I got 100% after like 2 years of the injury, then my answer probably would have been different.
Would have been different, yeah.
But like where I'm at today in life, no way.
Yeah, because how long was it until you started walking again? Like without it, you know, like...
Yeah. Man, I still walk with a cane. It's just long distance.
Yeah.
But I mean, a good 2 years, 2.5 years. Yeah. Walk without any assistant, like 2.5 years, 3 years.
I mean, it's a long time, and I feel like 2 years probably in a normal person's life, they would be probably in a wheelchair. Like, I feel like as like a athlete's mentality, like you are so driven to, you know, being able to live a normal life again. Like, you just don't, it's no option of giving up.
I'm just so blessed that I have my freedom back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to go compete at Rampage again. I don't need to go and like run a 6-minute mile.
Yeah.
I just want to like, what I'm doing right now is fun.
Yeah.
I'm
that's cool.
I'm like in a cruise and situation right now, which is fun.
Yeah. No, it's good. Like, it's great to see that you're, you know, able to still be able to ride a bike, because obviously riding a bike's your happy place. And that's like...
And I still do it every day.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a huge thing.
I mean, you see my bikes out there.
Yeah.
I got a lot of bikes out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And all different types of
different
bikes.
kinds.
Yeah. I ride bikes every single day. It brings a lot of joy to me, and it's seriously, like, living here in LA, it's the best way to get around.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you don't drive in the city.
No way.
What's after mountain biking?
Man, after mountain biking, I probably just want to like still be involved in the industry. I definitely want to be able to like shoot content, make video pieces with Red Bull. Like I really love what Simonek does with his videos, like just how unique they are, and I kind of want to like take the inspo from what he does into big bikes and like sort of just put it into a way of like showcasing, you know, what can be done on a downhill bike, and also like, you know, how fast you can go on it, and just I just want to be, you know, someone like that and on the downhill bike. And I think like, yeah, there's always obviously not endless opportunities, but there's opportunities, you know, after racing to be able to do that. And like, you know, like I've just always been so driven because I never really, you know, come from much. So like my biggest end goal was just to hopefully be able to set myself up for life, when I set myself up for the future. And you know, when it comes to the end of racing, that I could just, you know, chill and not have to.
Will mountain bike can be able to do that?
Yeah, for sure. Like
that's awesome.
I definitely feel like I've, you know, used my money in the right ways and invested it. Because, you know, like in mountain biking, good salaries don't come about often, and like feel like when you do get a 6-figure salary, like it's something that you're like, holy shit, like what do I do with this money? Like, do I go and blow it on partying and, you know, living it up, or do I invest it and buy property and stuff like that? So yeah, you know, it's that kind of money is not going to stay around for life. So I think it's very important to be able to, you know, use it right.
Love that. Yeah, if you want to save money, don't move to LA.
Yeah, it's expensive, eh?
Oh my goodness.
Holy shit, you know? Go out and eat a breakfast, it's like $70.
This little studio is 4 times the price of my place in Reno.
Really?
Yeah, and this is like the same size as my closet back home.
Wow.
But hey, I'm right here on Abercrombie. The beach is right there.
Yeah.
It's all worth it for now.
I mean, yeah, as long as you're enjoying it, eh?
How much longer do you want to continue racing?
Man, to be honest,
is it a goal? Is like, oh, if I win one more DH World Cup win, then I'm calling it? Or is it like, if I can do 5 more years, then I'm done?
Yeah, like my goal is to hopefully do 5 more years of racing, because I still deep down feel like I have something in me that I can get the results that I want and achieve the goals that I want. Probably not the goals that I had before my accident, because now the level of racing, like, it's so high, and like you got to have the best support. Like, you have to have the best equipment. You have to have good people around you. Like,
you ride for a solid team though, right?
Yeah,
yeah. This team's stacked.
Yeah, I do ride for a good team, and like to be honest, these last 4 years have been
Are you
stressful for me.
Are you riding for them again next year?
My contract's actually up at the end of this year, so I'm not too sure what I'm doing. But yeah, like these 4 years have really tested me in ways of like asking myself, do I actually want to keep racing if it's going to be like this? Because I just have gone through 4 years of struggling with a bike that I didn't get on with, and it's so frustrating. Like last year, I really went into a dark place of like questioning myself whether I'm good, like doubting myself. Am I still fast enough? Like, should I actually be here racing? Like, am I just taking up a spot for someone else that's better than me? Like, there's so much doubt around that stuff when things aren't going well. And I, you know, like, I'm the kind of person that I'd never pull out of a race for anything. Like, whether I've had a massive crash and I've, you know, done something to myself, I'll still try and race. But like, I got to a point last year in Val d'Isole where I was just like so over it. Like, I was just like, why am I risking everything to come 40th place? Like, you know, I just didn't get on well with the bike, and I felt like it was dangerous for me, and I was putting everything on the line for nothing, and that was really hard.
Yeah, I bet. So do you have a bike now that you're stoked on, that you're confident that you could win again?
To be honest, not really. Like Mondraker, we have a prototype bike now, and we got it 2 weeks before the first World Cup, so we really had minimal time on. I think I might have had like 8 days max before going to the first race. So I really didn't have
Much time on
a whole heap of time to try different things and try, just get a comfortable setup for me where I can, go from there and change stuff. And it was like every race I was going to, I was literally changing so much on my bike to get to a place where I was comfortable and I felt comfortable going fast. And I just have no confidence and trust in, in the equipment, because I really have lost that over the 4 years, and it's quite hard to get that back. Like, my season started out okay, and as soon as we started going to rougher tracks, we really didn't do too much testing on rough tracks before going into them, so didn't really have an idea of how to set the bike up. And I just kind of had flashbacks of the previous 3 years of how the bike would work for me, and I just didn't have the confidence and trust that I need, because in our sport you need that.
Okay, 4 years, that's a long time. How do you still stay motivated and have drive to continue on with having 4 bad years? How do you keep that fire going?
I honestly don't know. I actually got to a point where I was like, well, I'm not going to train today because I'm not motivated. Why am I training when
the results are not there?
Yeah,
that's how I felt in my slope game.
I'm a motivated person. I train super hard, and I just got to a point where it's just I'll just train every other day, and I didn't like that, because I was a person that if I missed one day of training, I would actually feel guilty, because it's missing one day of turning up to work. And I got to a point where I actually didn't feel guilty, and that was where I was kind of thinking, this is not really right, and I shouldn't really be thinking like this. But I always just I feel from these experiences of when things haven't gone wrong, I just it doesn't spiral out of control, but I just lose focus of everything around me, my preparation, my warm-ups, going out and doing my training, doing my spins, all of those things are super important for me. And I feel when I don't do those is when I start not caring and slipping. Yeah. And that's the path I don't want to go down for sure.
What is your training schedule looking like? What do you do for training?
So depending on in the off season where I'm at, but start of the season's pretty mellow. It's all just base stuff. 3 times a week in the gym, 6 times a week on the bike, and I'll do Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are double days. So gym in the morning, and then either road bike or trail bike in the afternoon. But I spend a lot of time on my road bike, because I feel a road bike is really consistent for the type of training that I need to do.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it as well. So 6 days a week is what, consists for me. I don't where I live, I don't have a whole heap of downhill riding. So that's the biggest thing that I lack, is spending time on my downhill bike. And that's one thing that I really want to work on and improve on for next year. And it's just I just feel I get caught in this trap of okay, I need to train. And I feel I'm not actually thinking about my downhill bike. I don't, because in previous years I felt I just trained and then hopped on my downhill bike and done well, and I don't think it's like that now. You kind of need to spend so much time on the downhill bike.
How about for recovery? What do you do for recovery?
Recovery, I spend a lot of time doing the is it the cryotherapy, the hot cold stuff? I do a lot of that.
Cryotherapy or cold plunging?
Cryotherapy a little bit, but cold plunging as well. I feel, yeah, I actually do a lot of that, probably 2-3 times a week back home. I just also feel like it helps with my back as well, and like my nerves and the sensation on my skin. I feel like it's definitely a benefit there.
If you need to use one, I have one right there.
Yes, I've seen that.
So feel free to jump in that thing if you want.
Yeah, sweet.
I jump in it every day, first thing in the morning, 3 minutes.
So good, eh?
Oh, yeah. It's like that with some coffee, game changer.
Have you felt like using the cold water has helped with your sensation at all?
I wouldn't say with my sensation, but I would definitely say as far as finding a connection.
Yeah.
My right glute, I feel like the nerve going to it is a lot more connected now.
Okay.
It's weird because like recently I'm able to like now kind of engage the right butt cheek.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, oh, sweet. Okay, there's like a good signal
Yeah,
going to that muscle group. So now I just like mentally like visualizing just moving that muscle like every single day. Like,
that's cool.
But I've noticed when I get out of the plunge, right after is like when it's connected the most.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. And I go straight to the gym.
Yeah.
I do before the gym.
Cold plunge and straight to the gym, yeah. Yeah, I cold shower every morning.
Did you go to Gold's Gym?
No, I didn't go to Gold's Gym. I signed up at F45. So just
I'm telling you go there between 9 and 10:30. I promise you will run into Arnold.
All right. I'm going to have to do that one day then.
So funny. He's always there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to end it on this. Top 5 best DH World Cup racers to ever do it.
Ooh, top 5. Voulios, Minar, PT, Hill, and I'm going to put Bruni in there.
Bruni, right?
I mean,
right in the top 5, yeah.
He's 5-time world champion, 3-time downhill World Cup champion. Like, I feel like he's on the path of being the next Voulios. He's something special.
He crushes it.
Yeah.
And Jackson, he's gonna be on there.
Jackson too, like, yeah.
He's still got a few more years, but
he's just
he'll do it.
He's just a young'un. He's a little pup. So, but yeah, Bruni's impressive. He's got a great team behind him, and like I think the amount of work and effort they put, like the team puts into him, and the effort he puts in also is like, it's definitely paid off. It showed like how much doing the work they do pays off for
results.
Yeah.
Takes a team.
Yeah, it does take a team.
Takes a team.
Yeah, 100%.
So crazy. A lot of money in that sport to get a good team.
Yeah.
Brook Macdonald, thank you for coming on the podcast today. Sunset is about to happen, so let's go rip those electric bikes and maybe get in some trouble tonight. Let's go. Thank you, guys. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Good job, bud.
Cheers, bro.